Got a mix that's lacking low-end power? How about a bass instrument that's not rattling your subs the way you want? You need bigger bass, right? Don't we all? Now, I'm sure you've tried EQ. I mean, why not? It's a tone shaper after all. But it may not be giving you that powerful style of extended low-end reach that you were hoping for. In this video, I'm going to show you 4 plugins for enhancing the presence of bass that aren't EQ that will help you to fully beef up the lowest of low ends in any track and mix. With Waves MaxxBass, RenaissanceBass, LoAir and Submarine, you have 4 easy solutions to get your instruments in full mixes feeling fatter with bass that's extremely punchy with purpose, power and control. Now, of course, I'm going to show you how each of these plugins sound and work, but importantly, I'm going to explain how each of these plugins differ, comparing how each go about their processing. If you're a Waves Creative Access Ultimate user, then you have access to all 4 of these amazing plugins. If you're on the Essential plan, then you get most of them, only missing out on Submarine. If you like buying your plugins, and trust me, we know you do, and you don't have any of these in your collections, but you're in the market for a bass enhancement / exciter style plugin, then stick around. Treat this video as a buying guide. It'll help you pick the right plugin for your work. First, let's start by splitting these 4 solutions into 2 categories. These 2 plugins produce new sub-harmonic content below the fundamental, and you want to choose these for adding extra weight in a track or for a mix that's missing low end. And these 2 plugins, well, these extend perceived bass by producing harmonics up and above the fundamental from existing bass energy. If that sounds a bit too techie for you, don't worry. Let's visualize things. These 2 plugins, RenaissanceBass and MaxxBass, create extra upper harmonics from existing bass energy. If you want things to sound a lot beefier on, say, small playback systems, these are the plugins you want to go for. Take a look at this sine wave and imagine this is the main energy of a kick drum, its strongest fundamental note. Let's wind in RBass. First, set the frequency we want to exaggerate, then push in some intensity, and you'll see new harmonics added above the source note. With MaxxBass, again, set the frequency you want to empower, then increase the MaxxBass fader. And you see, we get a very similar result. Now, the effects of these plugins are profound. Both RBass and MaxxBass employ a psychoacoustic algorithm that creates the illusion of deeper, richer bass without adding muddy tones. These extra upper harmonics created from low-frequency content are much easier for speakers to reproduce. Also, the human ear perceives these as an extension of lower frequencies. Let's try this out on an actual kick drum track. First, set the frequency, and then we'll push the MaxxBass fader. Powerful stuff. Now, top tip with using these sorts of plugins, a little often goes a very long way. The main difference between these 2 plugins is that MaxxBass gives you additional controls to help tailor the processing further. Let's try the same thing with RBass. This time though, let's start by pushing the intensity, then we'll find the pitch that we feel we need to elevate by sweeping the frequency. As you can see, it couldn't be any easier to find extra fatness with RBass. Next, let's thicken up a thin-sounding mix with MaxxBass. Let's increase the MaxxBass slider. And sweep the frequency. Back it off slightly. Before. And after. So there you have it, MaxxBass and RBass, 2 plugins to check out if the bass energy in your mix needs extra oomph, power, presence and control. Let's take a look at the other category, which produce new sub-harmonic content below the fundamental. Again, with a sine wave visual, you can clearly see how LoAir is doing this. It's the absolute opposite to what RBass and MaxxBass do. With Submarine, you can also reach low, but much lower than LoAir, as you get controls for blending in 2 octaves of new deep sub-content. Now, we have a weak sounding synth bass track here. And as you can see, it doesn't really have any low-end frequencies. With LoAir, we can fill in this space with new sub-harmonics. With the range control, use this to set the new sub-harmonic energy, LoAir to increase the strength of that range, and direct if you need to back off the level from the main unprocessed direct sound. With just the range and LoAir controls, listen to how quickly we can give this synth extra depth with bass energy that was previously missing. If you're listening to this example in your studio with a subwoofer, then you'll hear that LoAir is certainly giving it a workout. Next, let's dive even deeper into generating new sub-harmonics with Submarine. And let's once again strengthen another mix, this time by adding thunderous sublayers to give a mix a larger club-like feel. With Submarine, you get not only one, but 2 layers of new sub-harmonic power that you can push in. Use the 2 nautical dials to set the level of each octave, and the range selector to define the frequencies from which you want to create the new subs from. Let's focus Submarine to around about the kick range within this mix. It's about 60 Hz, and then we'll dial in each of the low octaves to get that thunderous feel. First octave. And now the lower one. Now, if that's not enough low end for you, I really don't know what is. So, to recap, adding new sub-harmonics using either LoAir or Submarine, and you have all the options to quickly reinforce the foundation of any mix, kick drum, bass instrument, synth, or beat that's lacking that sub-rattling presence that you're struggling to reveal with EQ. So there you have it, 4 plugins giving you 2 different ways to fatten up the presentation of bass. If you've got a mix that needs a fuller sounding foundation and tracks that deserve bigger sounding boots, you now know which plugins to check out. Hope you guys got something from this. I tried to minimise the tech talk as much as possible for you guys that are new to mixing, but informative enough for those of you out there who know your onions. If you use any of these plugins, let us know in the comments which one you prefer. We'd love to hear your thoughts on them and how you use them to get the bass energy sounding fat in your mixes. Visit waves.com or follow the links in the description below for more information on these fab 4 plugins. Get the demos, try them for yourselves, or if you're a Creative Access user, they're there already waiting for you on your system.